The conflict in Ukraine has become a defining test for NATO, the US, and Russia, with each player shaping the fate of Europe. NATO, founded after World War II, stands as a shield for its members, promising collective defense and deterring aggression. Since Russia's full-scale invasion, NATO has ramped up support for Ukraine and reinforced its eastern flank, aiming to deter further Russian advances. President Trump's unpredictable stance, once critical of NATO and open to Ukraine conceding territory, has now shifted dramatically, unsettling allies and adversaries alike. Meanwhile, Putin continues to frame Russia as a defender against NATO expansion, projecting strength despite mounting setbacks. The interplay between Trump's shifting policies, NATO's resolve, and Putin's ambitions keeps the path to peace uncertain and fraught with risk. In a stunning turn, President Trump now claims Ukraine can reclaim all its territory, reversing his earlier calls for compromise. After meeting Zelensky at the UN, Trump declared Russia a paper tiger in economic trouble, urging Ukraine to press its advantage. He's called for NATO to take a tougher line, even suggesting members should shoot down Russian aircraft violating their airspace. While Secretary of State Marco Rubio clarified that US policy remains defensive, Trump's rhetoric pressures NATO to act more aggressively. Trump also demands NATO allies boost defense spending to 5% of GDP and cut all Russian energy imports, tying financial commitment to security. This new approach links military resolve with economic independence, aiming to strengthen the alliance and isolate Russia. Trump's pivot forces both allies and adversaries to rethink their strategies in the conflict. In Kyiv, Trump's reversal is seen as a game-changer. Zelensky welcomes the shift, hoping it brings advanced weapons and long-term US security guarantees for Ukraine. For Ukraine, this could mean not just immediate aid, but a stronger position in the West's security framework. In Moscow, the Kremlin mocks Trump's paper tiger label, insisting Russia remains a formidable power. Yet behind the bravado, officials acknowledge the US's influence and leave the door open for dialogue. Russia's dual messaging, projecting strength while hinting at negotiation, shows it's watching Trump's next moves closely. The stakes are high, as both sides brace for the impact of America's new posture. Trump's call for a tougher NATO comes amid a surge in Russian provocations along the alliance's eastern border. Russian jets and drones have repeatedly violated NATO airspace, testing the alliance's resolve and readiness. These incursions are seen as deliberate, designed to intimidate and probe for weaknesses. NATO has responded with stern warnings, emphasizing its commitment to defend every inch of its territory. Secretary General Mark Rutte stresses caution, noting that any military response must be carefully weighed to avoid escalation. Frontline states like Poland and Estonia are demanding unified action, reflecting growing anxiety near the conflict zone. The alliance is reinforcing defenses and coordinating responses, determined to deter further Russian aggression. The risk of direct confrontation is real, making NATO's unity and preparedness more crucial than ever. Recent developments have injected urgency into Europe's security debate. At the UN, Secretary of State Rubio warns that Trump has tough options if peace talks stall, including harsher sanctions and more weapons for Ukraine. NATO allies have agreed to raise defense spending to 5% of GDP, rebalancing the security burden with the US. The EU is accelerating efforts to end reliance on Russian energy, aiming to cut off a key source of Kremlin funding. This convergence, Trump's new stance, NATO's commitments, and Europe's energy shift, sends Moscow a message of escalating resolve. While the future remains uncertain, the West's renewed unity offers hope for Ukraine and a stable world order. The international community signals it's ready to defend sovereignty and international law, whatever the risks.